CS is a FPS with many aspects gameplay-wise. Of course, we have mechanics and game sense. These are the most important, and after those we have utility usage, map control, positioning and team play. And beside these things we have many more. And one of those things is clutching, one of the most difficult skills to master in Counter-Strike. This makes sense, as clutching means that you are 1v X amount of players. You are at a big disadvantage, and there, logically speaking, shouldn't be a possibility of you winning. So, how do some of the players excel at such a difficult skill against some of the best players in the world? Here's how to clutch. So, all of your teammates die, and they only kill one player, and you find yourself 1 against 4. What do? First comes the information. You need to gather all the latest info that was given to you by your teammates. For example, your team tried to do an A execute on Mirage, but they were eliminated. Meanwhile, you were lurking in the underpass, and although they died, they gathered intel about the enemies. So now you know that there is one guy A stairs, one in the jungle and one is CT. So now you have position of 3 out of 4 players. Another way to get info are sounds like steps and nade throws. In the situation that we just used as our example, if there is a flash that explodes on short, now we have position of all 4 players and you are ready to go to step 2, which is to plan your route and what you are going to do. And to do that you will use the information you just acquired. Disclaimer: you will not always have the information about all the players, and in that case you need to use your game sense to think where they probably are and incorporate that guess into your plan. And now the question: how do we plan the route? There are a couple of things we want from our route. It would be optimal if it's something that the enemy won't expect, but that's not always easy to do, because if we use our little example I used before, your teammates tried to execute A site but failed miserably. And they dropped the bomb, so the enemy is just fortifying themselves in A site. In that case, it won't be possible to sneak up on them. So we will use the next best thing that we would be using in the sneaking strategy as well, and that is to isolate your duels. And the concept here is pretty simple. You don't want to fight more than one guy at a time, so try to take the duels in a way that will allow you to be always fighting only 1v1. And if you thought up something that might allow this, go for it. Don't be afraid to try it, even if you are not sure if it works. And that's because in clutching, it might work is the best thing you can get. There is no surefire way to win a clutch, as in theory you shouldn't even win this round. Next thing I will tell you is to use your game sense again to point out more probable spots where your enemies might be. Because even though you got the info, at this point it's outdated. You will just use it as a way to think where there might be now. Because you can't always clear all the angles when you are alone, so in a situation when it is hard to clear 2 spots without being shot from one of them, decide which one feels more like there is somebody hiding and stick to that option. Of course, if possible and convenient, use the nades. And this doesn't go only for clearing angles, but also holding the angles. You are alone, you can't hold 3 angles at once, so hold the one when you think that the enemy will appear fastest. So, let's say you manage to get the bomb from A side. What will you do now? Plant? You can do that, as it will give your team additional $800, and if you are at a point where your team needs that additional income to have full or half buy, go for it. But in my opinion, if you want to win, you need to go for kills. If it's 1 against 4, I would say you need to make it at least 1v2 if possible before planting. Because if you don't, and the enemy regroups, and they will just rush you out when you are hiding on the side. So to plant or not to plant depends on your situation and what you want to do and what you want to achieve. So let's sum it up. First, you gather intel in every way possible. Then you use your game sense to make a plan, and then you execute it in a way where you are fighting only one enemy at a time. It is hard to train clutching, but here are a couple of things that you can do. Of course, you need to train your mechanics, as you need to win multiple duels in a row. You can use workshop maps and my favorite FFA community deathmatch. It's gonna hurt, but trust me, it's worth it. Then you need a solid game sense, as to predict enemy movements and where they might be hiding or coming from. And to train game sense you need to play game and watch your demos and pro demos. There is no other way, and it will take some time, so be aware. Additionally, some native understanding and slick movement can help, but those are a little less important. And with this, you are not ready to go, and you will not be for another couple of months. Learning how to clutch consistently will take a lot of time, don't feel bad about it. It is a skill that is very hard to master, and you need to have exceptional game sense for it, and at least bare minimum good mechanics to pull it off. Also, I didn't cover a lot of examples, I used only one, and that is because you have infinite amount of possibilities in clutching. So what I gave you is a general way to go about clutching, but you can do something else. Like for example when Zipex defused the bomb 1v5 on Nuke, he didn't fight even one guy and he still won the round. So it is very situational. So just be aware of that. This was just something to give you a general understanding of how clutch works. And with this, I will end the video. If you like this video, leave a like and comment on what to do next. See ya!